Hey everybody, how's it going? We're here with the Timeless reading. Welcome. First card that we have out is Three of Cups and the Empress and Ace of Swords. Three of Cups and the Empress can be a time where you're feeling like you have something to give heart to heart or socially. I see Three of Cups as being like connecting with someone. There can be an event that you're going to or have gone to, or this can be you hanging out with someone, or there's something that you're doing where you're connecting, whatever it may be. Having the Empress here is an energy that feels like you at your best, where you're really able to be present. So like being present to the possibility of connection and then being able to experience that because of being in a space where you're open to it and able to give to it, you know, to be able to have that exchange. And I'm seeing the Ace of Swords, which can feel like a breakthrough of sorts. Like maybe something was going on where you felt like you weren't connecting before. There was somebody, this can be with a group of people, but it can also even just be with one person, where whatever your situation is, you could feel like you weren't getting that FaceTime that you wanted, or like you were looking for some type of intimacy. Having Ace of Swords can be like, finally that thing is happening now. And I also feel like I'm in the space to be able to experience, because the Empress is somebody that's going to come to the table with like, and bring everything, you know. It's being in that space where you don't feel like you need to hold back, where you feel like you have full hands when you're showing up, and it feels like this is something that's going on like an emotional level, so you can feel again like you're able to be present to this, and that because of it you could feel like you're breaking ground here. This is something that would feel good, and you would feel good about the way that you're showing up. You can also feel like there's an element of grace that you're bringing, or just like whatever qualities you like to bring. You could feel like that's what you're showing up with and feel appreciative because of that specifically. All right, I'm seeing Three of Swords, and I'm looking at Five of Wands on the bottom of the deck. It looks like something has happened. Did this happen before? Is this happening during this situation? Is this sort of what was leading up to it? The way that I'm seeing this is that, one, you could have felt like you were seeking something, you then had that type of interaction that you were seeking, things feel good, and then did the Three of Swords follow? Having Three of Swords follow can be like, then is something coming up that feels hurtful, or something coming up where there's like pain, or there's an attachment, but attachment in the way of feeling like something's being separated, like that type of thing, feeling like something needs to be worked out, but also too like maybe because things are good in this situation, it's allowing you to address something that's been needed to be addressed. That's what this is feeling like. I don't like having these cards come out like this. It doesn't feel like things are going great and then this thing over here happens. This feels like, because you may feel like you're in a safe space, and because you're like, oh, now we're connecting, or like now we're being honest with each other, and it feels like we're really understanding each other. Now I can like talk about this thing that's been bothering me. Talk about the thing that's been bothering me, Three of Swords. Like that hurt me, or like things, you know when things feel solid, and so it feels safe to bring stuff up that could potentially be very destabilizing if you weren't in a good place with someone. I'm seeing you be in that good place, so again, it feels like safe to be talking about these things, whatever this is. Yeah, this is gonna be made right. Whatever had been happening, I'm seeing it be brought up in like a very proper type of way. I'm seeing justice next to it. So this can be, somebody's gonna say, hey, I realize that I hurt you, I'm sorry about that. But like it can be that type of thing, or someone even voicing like, I felt upset when this happened, or this really got to me, or I didn't like when that happened, you know, like these types of things. Having justice means that this is going to be soothed. It means that this is going to be corrected. It means that this is going to be taken care of. It means that this is going to be made right, like made up for, like that type of thing. So this feels like a really healing type of situation that I'm seeing here. Something is definitely being made right that could have felt like that thing is still bothering me. Three of Swords and Justice is now we're addressing that and we're doing what needs to be done in order to rectify this, in order to bring things back into a space of balance. I get the vibe of just feeling happy here about this, like almost a little bit carefree. So maybe you feel like this was something, you or the other person, whoever was feeling this way, maybe both of y'all were feeling like this, whatever it happened to be and whoever's energy this is, you could feel like this was the thing that wasn't allowing you to feel liberated in this circumstance. And now that this is being addressed, because it's something where you could feel, you know, Three of Swords happens and you feel like I need to protect myself, or is this gonna happen again, or I'm not being listened to, I'm not being heard. You know, these things that can feel like we go through something and then we don't have support after, and that's why it sticks with us, because there's like a lack of like, how are we gonna work through this now? And this feels like that moment of like it actually being worked through, it being addressed. Don't close in on the space too fast. I'm seeing the Devil come out, but I was seeing Temperance on the bottom of the deck, which can be putting too much importance, like an imbalanced amount of importance on something is what this is feeling like. Like to the point where it gets carried away, and it feels like recognizing, I'm seeing Page of Swords next to the Devil. So this is understanding too, like where in your life do you have a tendency for things to go wayward? Where do you have a hard time like moderating, or where do you have a difficult time keeping balance within your life? Feels like something, especially socially, that this has to do with. So you can feel something about that that's coming up now, where you're learning, because it feels again like this is a really safe environment where sometimes the Devil can be very intimidating and very hard to look at, because there can be shame around it, or like I should know better, or I shouldn't be doing this, or we're still not ready to admit this. This feels again like a safe environment to be addressing this in, where it's like, oh yeah, that's a problem for me sometimes, and like I'm learning about that now. I'm understanding that about myself. I'm seeing that instead of doing this for myself, I have a tendency to lean in this direction and hope that that will take care of it, when I'm not really getting to the basis of what this is. So I'm seeing there be this like process of learning of, this is a situation where this was brought to light for me, and now I can understand more about it, and without this situation maybe I wouldn't have been aware of that. So it seems like that sort of thing here, something that's being worked on, awareness being gained. Okay, so this Three of Swords is connected with like the pain or the hurt or the issue that happened. This was something that already did happen, I'm seeing. I'm not seeing this be a new situation that's occurring. It feels like going over something that had happened in the past that wasn't like properly addressed, that is now being properly addressed. You could have felt like it was something that wasn't allowing you to fully be like content with things, because of it needing to be talked about. It happened in the past, but it's being made right now is what this is looking like. Yeah, it's one of those things, how I'm seeing this would impact you and how you would know what this was what this is, depending on where you are in the timeline, is that you, like, things could have been like fine between you and another person presently, as far as like there's nothing happening right now that I have an issue with, but I can't like really feel into this and be happy with things and like celebrate with you or connect with you because I'm still upset about that other thing that I wasn't like heard about, or that wasn't validated, or we didn't discuss that, or it wasn't addressed, like that type of thing. So then now in the present moment, I'm seeing it be addressed, I'm seeing it be corrected. This looks like something that was really painful at the time, and it was something that was sticking with you, and you also could have felt like it was getting in the way, like mentally getting in the way of you emotionally feeling present. But I am seeing things be worked out. What I do find interesting is that we have the devil and we have justice connected with one another, and the devil is going to be something where there's some type of imbalance where we could be like, I want you to fix it, or I want this to be the answer, but we're not like getting to the core of like why this is present, why this imbalance is coming up in the first place. And something may have been displaced and maybe somebody else blamed for something, when the person that was experiencing this, it needed to be addressed. It feels like something inherently like emotionally within the connection, where there could have been like a falsification of like, this is part of my value system, but it actually wasn't. And one is like now actually learning about their values in like a different way, because it feels like somebody was going about doing something in a way that actually didn't feel empowering to them, but could have been like telling themselves that this was part of their value system. But then like through whatever the situation is, it feels like recognizing that this actually makes me feel powerless, or this makes me feel out of control, or this is what does give me control, but it's a false sense of control. It's like it's something along the lines of that, where needing to like cut through the illusion of something was necessary to realize what would actually feel empowering to someone, and like learning more about that within themselves and why they were feeling like not properly connected. Is there any more detail? I don't feel like we need to go further into it, because what I'm seeing is that there's an awareness of what this was, so I don't feel like it needs to be explained now at this point. Otherwise, it would feel kind of redundant, because what I'm seeing is that there's a clear, like, oh, that's what was going on, or that's what was happening. I'm seeing that part of myself that was coming out like that. And why there was like a lack of wanting to participate, like a lack of wanting to connect, and maybe connect with something else instead. All based off of something that had happened before. Because again, like, you could have been in like a potentially good space with someone, but were feeling disconnected for some reason, and it was because of needing to like rehash something that had happened and correct it. And then once that correction happened, it feels like someone is able to see like the part of themselves that was showing up within this, that again feels like would have been in a way like falsely empowering, like one being like, this is like what I feel like I need to do in this situation, and then realizing that they actually didn't feel like that at all, and that it showed more about one's values and also how they want to be showing up within the relationship too, and discussion being a big part of this as well. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I'm looking at Libra and Capricorn. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.